Hello everybody, welcome back to Screen Stars. I'm here today to review the sports comedy drama I, Tonya, that stars Margot Robbie, Sebastian Stan and Alison Janney. And this is a movie that I've been reasonably looking forward to seeing, and with the Oscars just around the corner, quite literally, I've finally got a chance to see this movie. Now, what made this movie even more interesting for me is quite recently I reviewed for the Geek Legion of Doom channel a documentary called My Hero's Shadow, I believe it was called, which actually focused on the guy that actually coshed Nancy Kerrigan's knee. And I found that a really interesting documentary, and if you want to watch it, head on over to Geek Legion of Doom, it's on that channel. So I was really quite excited to see this movie after seeing that documentary, whereas in America this is probably still highly remembered, and it's one of these infamous events that is part of like this massive media culture over there. Whereas in this country, it was when it was reported, when it happened, all this stuff with Tonya Harding, it made news, it was big news, and then it was gone in the UK, and we don't really hear much of it. So it was interesting to watch this movie, to watch and understand how it all came to be and the life of Tonya Harding. Now, they took quite an unusual approach with this movie, and they told it in, like I say, in like a comedy drama format where they frequently break the fourth wall and talk to camera. And initially, I wasn't sure I was going to like it, and that approach, it felt a bit jarring and a bit confused, and it didn't really know what it wanted to be, whether it wanted to be a drama and tell her life story, or be a comedy, or be a spoof, or what. And I was a little bit taken aback initially with the movie, and then once I got comfortable with what I was watching, I really got into it, and I really started enjoying it. And the movie itself is very good, littered with fantastic performances, especially from the three leads. Margot Robbie is outstanding. Again, almost like how I was feeling with the movie early on. I wasn't convinced. I couldn't see the performance that people were raving about. But as the movie goes on, she just absolutely grows into the role and gives us outstanding performance by the end. I mean, really impressive and thoroughly deserving her Oscar nomination. I'd be very surprised if she wins, but thoroughly deserved the Oscar nomination. I thought Sebastian Stan was very good as Jeff, her estranged husband, but the standout I think was Alison Janney, who plays her mother. A thoroughly despicable character, and if it's anything accurate as to what she was like in real life, an awful human being, and again thoroughly deserving of an Oscar nomination, but probably deserving of winning the award, I'm guessing. So the movie focuses on Tonya Harding from growing up as a little girl, mum, really brutal in regards to her skating, getting her to skate young, and really terrible, abusive upbringing by her mother. We see the father leave. All she focuses on is skating, but because she comes from what some may call a redneck background, she constantly gets ignored by the judges because she doesn't project the image that they want, this wholesome American girl that comes from a wholesome American family, and it's constantly a problem for her. We see her meet her husband Jeff, played by Sebastian Stan, and their explosive abusive relationship, and how they constantly break up and end up getting back together, and that was done really well. I think as well the guy that plays Sean, I believe it is Paul Walter Hauser, who plays, well, described as Tonya's bodyguard, but I think he was one of the most frustrating characters I've ever seen in a movie, and he's probably the biggest comedy part of the movie, even though there are some light laughs throughout it. His portrayal as the bodyguard, I think, was just, it made you literally want to dive in the screen and absolutely stick the boot in. He was absolutely dumb as anything, thought he was convincing people as to, you know, he was this top bodyguard and into counter-terrorism and stuff, and it was like Fantasyland. I mean, he really, really was. He was portrayed wonderfully in the movie, and I don't know if the guy who in real life sees this movie, he's not going to be flattered by his portrayal in the movie at all, as most people probably aren't, to be fair. So very, very interesting film this. I enjoyed it tremendously. The first half an hour I was a bit unsure what I was going to make of it. I didn't feel comfortable with it. It felt like it had a little bit of an identity crisis. Was it a drama, was it a comedy? And then once you get comfortable with all that, you really settle into it, and you really, really start enjoying it. And it's a really fascinating film. A great inclusion into, you know, these wonderful array of sports movies that are released, and a nice refreshing approach to making a film like this. So yeah, I really, really enjoyed it. Great performances, and definitely worth a watch. So yeah, give this one a go, guys. If this is your first time visiting Screen Stars, please consider subscribing to the channel. There's loads of content for you to check out, guys, and thanks very much for watching.